Hey, this is Matt once again. What about in the video? There's another paid request, this time for QJC. Now, he wanted me to do a... Sorry about the squeaking of the chair. There we go. I'm happy to get to this list. Thanks once again for the paid request, QJC. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. So, his list of top 20 worst sequels that he's ever seen, he wanted me to react to it. And looking through real quick, I can't really disagree much with his list. So, QJC's top 20 worst sequels ever seen. I know, take a while to get going. Excuse me, it's late. It's my fault. Number 20, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, The Quest for Cash. That is a bad sequel. It's sad that's the last film we've had Christopher Reeve in. And Christopher Reeve's legacy as Superman ended on such a downer note. Because horrible special effects, idiotic story, laughable. That's a film that earns the cheesy title, and I hate using the word cheesy, but that earns it. Awful fight scenes. They clone Superman, but then when they clone Superman, he looks nothing like Superman, and he has the voice of Gene Hackman, and then Lex Luthor's nephew, wherever the hell he is, Lenny Luthor, annoying as hell. Terrible special effects. Canon did not have the money for this. They did not have the budget for this. And everything in between is just absolutely crap. Christopher Reeve tries as he tries, but he can't save that project. Not in the slightest. And you just say it's because of the budget, but I think they got the wrong director, they got the wrong studio. Yes, budget was a factor. This was not a good film. I still don't know how they got Gene Hackman in that movie. But Superman 4, The Quest for Cash, The Quest for Shit. Yeah, it deserves to be on a worse sequel list. 19, Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Never saw it. I don't even think I've seen the first Peter Rabbit. Number 18, Dark Phoenix. Yes. That's an X-Men film that's pretty bad. I don't know if that or Apocalypse is worse. Those X-Men movies run together for me. I remember Dark Phoenix. There's a bit where the X-Men go into outer space. And something about they're in space and someone's helmet is open and they save the person by putting duct tape around the helmet. And then Nightcrawler, he teleports, but some people seems like they can breathe in outer space, or they're fine with outer space without protection. I'm sitting there going, what? And hell, I'll take X-Men 3 for Dark Phoenix saga over damn Dark Phoenix. I know there's a scene she makes Charles Xavier walk, and that was laughable. I never liked the new X-Men films after First Class and onward. The new cast just didn't do anything for me. The whole bits of Mystique being this important character, and I'm sitting there going, when was she a sister, or kind of, sort of, but not really sister of Charles Xavier? Which was never brought up in the original X-Men movies, even though these are supposed to be in the same timeline. I felt like the writers, like, well, let's not pay attention to that, just do whatever the hell we want. I could put X-Men First Class on there, I could put... Technically, Dark Phoenix is a prequel, I guess, technically, right? Because those take place before X-Men 1 and 2 and 3. But it must be their own... No, actually, no, they're not in their own timeline, because Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix at the end, and she became the Phoenix in X-Men 3. Or X-Men 3 doesn't exist, I guess. They just say they ignored that. No, X-Men 3 The Last Stand is a better movie. People get mad at that. I think it's a better movie. Other than I'm the Juggernaut bitch and a couple other things, I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be, but Dark Phoenix is pretty awful. Number 17, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Oh yeah, Texas Chainsaw 3D, 3 dicks in my face. I probably would say that is still the worst Texas Chainsaw film. Leatherface is the most forgettable one. 2022 is close to the worst, but I would say Texas Chainsaw 3D is still the worst. Because it's still the dumbest. Don't get me wrong, the new one was close, but it's still the dumbest. Fucking dumbest chainsaw film I've ever seen. And, holy shit balls of fire, man. From a girl that watches her friends die, and because she read a newspaper, then there's a switch, as if it was Sylvester Stallone turning his hat to have a switch like a truck, and now she's a villain that helps a guy that murdered her friends because he's my cuz, so do your thing, cuz. And they're trying to make Leatherface, he's a murderer, but then he's like an anti-hero? And we're supposed to root for him against this other jamoke? And the writers trying to make this thing that vigilante justice is awful? I'm like, no. If it's vigilante justice against a group of cannibals that murder innocent people, then vigilante is A-OK. Okay, USA, in my book. It's also a movie that doesn't know how time exists. Just a sequel to the first, which was in the 70s, so technically this film should be in the 90s, but then there's certain phones, and then they want to hide the dates. No, you don't know what year it is. But then the girl was like 20 years old. Terrible fucking movie. And then Leatherface looks like, I don't know, he should be named Billy Bob. Billy Bob Sawyer. With them taters. Shaw's family. Texas Chainsaw, yeah, 3 dicks in my face. 16 and 15 are the Kissing Booth 2 and the Kissing Booth 3. I don't know what the hell the Kissing Booth is. The fact, I guess there's 3 movies is crazy, because I've never even heard of the first one, let alone 2 and 3. So I'll take his word for it. Number 14, Terminator Dark Fate. Oh yes, the movie that said, you know what, we don't change things up. So after Terminator 2, John Connor gets killed in 5 minutes. As a kid. Shot. Dead. Dead like dinner. And then, hey, a few years later, there's a new type of Skynet. There's a new type of resistance leader. And she's female. Because men suck. And then the Mexican Terminator, the Mexicanator, comes after them. And it's just a shitty remake of Terminator 2. Oh, there's a female Terminator Protector. Yeah, the Sarah Connor Chronicles did that. Summer Glau. Action scenes that were lame. Arnold was a goof. He was what, a window dresser? What the hell was he in that? It was some fucking stupid job. And oh, you remember the whole mantra of the Terminator? It feels no remorse, no pity, no fear. But in this movie, it does feel remorse. And it does feel pity. Because it helped the girl that was in trouble. And it felt remorse for killing John Connor. So it does feel remorse. And it does feel pity. And James Cameron produced it and gave a thumbs up. And he directed the first fucking film. And the second fucking film that said no remorse, no pity, no fear. And this Terminator had it all. with Arnold's character. And they still would have made more. How many times does a Terminator film have to stop before you get to the middle of the Tootsie Pop? How many? Is there a number? Can you pick the number, please? So when we get to that, you don't make any more and I can cheer. I can dance the jig. Dark Fate. Dark Fist Fuck. 13, Hellraiser 4 to 10. The fact there's 10 Hellraiser films. And they're going to do a remake with a female Pinhead. I'm like, there are female Cenobites. Hellraiser 4 did that. Hell, the original Hellraiser has a female Cenobite. That's with Pinhead. But I mean, as the main villain, I know Pinhead was Hellraiser 4, but technically the other one was the villain. I forget her name, though, because I haven't seen Hellraiser in space in a while. That's not even the worst one. And Hellraiser 4, it's not good, but I wouldn't put it on the list. Because I'm trying to think of films that are not on the list. If I can remember. Well, I mean, I would say American Ninja 4 and 5 are worse than Hellraiser 4. And I don't even like Hellraiser 5 Inferno, but as worst sequels of all time, I wouldn't put 4 and 5. Again, I'm not even a fan of them. But I would say Halloween 6 is way worse. Halloween Kills is way worse. Halloween 2018 is way worse, in my opinion. I'd rather watch Hellraiser 5 Inferno. Again, not even being a big fan of that movie, because it's just kind of a crappy version of Jacob's Ladder. Although it's better than the Jacob's Ladder remake. But I mean, like Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, I put on there. God, now I'm trying to think of sequels. Bill and Ted 3 I would put on there. But it's not on this list. Anyway. But yeah, a lot of those Hellraiser sequels are awful. And 4, it's there. I'm not a big fan of it, but there's elements I like. It was messed around a lot during production. They didn't leave the director alone. Hellraiser 5, at the time, again, I wasn't really a big fan of it, but Craig Sheffer didn't do too bad of an acting job, and the ending was predictable, but I kind of idea what they were going for, but like I said, I wouldn't say I'm big on it, but there's a lot of worse movies out there, I would say. God, I'm trying to remember them. Hellraiser 6 and 7. 7, 8, 9. Which was how... Was 6 the one... Or was it... I think 6 was Terry Wooer. Which is almost kind of the same as 5. Oh no, that may be Deader, I'm thinking. One's Deader and one's Hellseeker. I think 6 is Deader and 7 is Hellseeker. I think 7 is the one where they bring Ashley Lawrence back. But then it's like she makes a deal again. And does she get some innocent people killed? I don't know. But I agree with a lot of them being on the list, though. Especially after 5. Like 5 through 10, I mean... At least 6 through 10, definitely. 4 and 5 are not good, but I've seen much worse, sadly. Yeah, number 12, Halloween 5. That would be on my list. I hate Halloween 5. Halloween 5 is garbage. Halloween 5 is garbage, from Donald Pleasance acting more psycho, to having your good actress Danielle Harris be mute for a good chunk of the film, to having a sidekick kid that stutters, and I know people stutter in real life. I'm not making fun of that, but the way it's portrayed in the movie is done in a terrible, annoying fashion. You have cops that come in, and when they come in, there's clown noises. They backtrack on the ending of 4, so it makes even less sense. has one of the worst endings to a Halloween film. Complete limp dick of an ending. Men in Black, they didn't even know what the hell it was. They just brought it up and go, you figure it out later. What? It's not how movies are supposed to work. Halloween 5 is garbage. Number 11, Coming to America. Yes, that is a bad sequel. The joke of Eddie Murphy. Oh, the girl from Ghostbusters 2016. I forget her name. May the power of Patty compel you. She drugs Eddie Murphy. He takes a sip. This is a flashback to the first movie. So during the first movie, he was drugged and she date raped him. And that's funny. That, you know, you did a Bill Cosby. And that's hilarious. Because if I turn that around and Eddie Murphy did that to a girl, would that be hilarious? And just tired, awful jokes that weren't funny. New characters he didn't give a flying fuck about. An FF, a flying fuck about. Coming to America, just worthless sequel. Sometimes felt like just a crappy remake of the first one. Eddie Murphy's character is very inconsistent to who he was in the first movie. Yeah. Number 10, Home Sweet Home Alone. I did a review of that just like I did of Coming to America 2. Home Sweet Home Alone, an unneeded, another damn... I mean, I would put Home Alone 3, Home Alone 4, Home Alone 5 on the list as well. Home Sweet Home Alone... I barely remember that film now. I know it's some little kid who acts like a little shit, and the burglars, they're actually people that just want this item back so that they can save their home. So, they're not well-written characters. You don't like them, but they're not, you know, bad guys. So, these people that are not even villainous are the ones getting hurt, and it just makes it seem as if much more mean-spirited than the films before. Not a good film. Number 9, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Pretty much, hey, this was coming to HBO Max. Here's our advertisement. I mean, LeBron James. I know Michael Jordan is not an actor, but he still had more of an it factor than LeBron James. LeBron James and the way his character acted, the way him playing himself acted, just came off as a jerkwad, an asshole, unlikable prick. The basketball scenes seemed a lot less fun. The soundtrack was terrible. As superficial as the soundtrack was a big asset to the first Space Jam. And then this film didn't even have that. No new songs that were worth the spit. And in fact made me want to puke thinking about anything of Space Jam: New Legacy. We don't cancel Pepe Le Pew, but we don't have the characters from A Clockwork Orange in the background, and we don't show scenes from, you know, Mad Max Fury Road. And then explain to the kids what the villain wanted in Mad Max Fury Road. What did he want with those girls in Mad Max Fury Road? You know, the scene that you're showing in your movie? You know that villain? What did he want with those girls? Tell your kids that. Then explaining why Pepe Le Pew was in the film. It's not like, oh, I'm a part of the Pepe Le Pew fan club. It's just the hypocrisy is so blatant and obvious. You call out to make fun of these stupid companies doing stupid stuff. But I did a whole rant on Space Jam too. Number 8, Matrix Resurrections. One of those films I said was going to suck. I did a video on it. People were pissed at me. Not everybody, but there were a good section of people pissed at me. Oh, you don't know. Really? You can't see it? Because I could see it coming. And lo and behold, it came out and it was a fucking flop. It was a disaster of epic proportions. Barely anyone liked the film. It bombed critically. It bombed commercially. It wasn't a hit in any way, shape, or form. Any thoughts of continuing The Matrix was shut down pronto. And it was a terrible story. Bad use of characters. Kill off Larry Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne off screen, and he didn't even know. He's like, yeah, they just told me I'm not in the movie. Okay. No, instead, give Jada Pinkett more stuff to do. Maybe she slapped him, and she slapped the director, and then she got more lines. Should be coke lines. Hollywood should be doing cocaine again. Maybe it'll make better movies by doing that. Matrix Resurrections, I called it in that video. I'm not Nostradamus. I just get lucky every once in a while. Fuck Matrix 4. To me, Matrix trilogy I like. I like all three of them. Thought the ending was fine. And it's funny, Matrix Resurrection, it ends with not... Like, your Matrix... The Matrix 3 ended with a finality. Maybe a little question mark, will the one return? But there was still a final portion. Now you make a new one with a cliffhanger ending, and you're not going to make any more, so you just fucked your story up. You dumb fucks. Good job fucking your story up. Now there's no end. Because you're not going to get a Matrix 5. I even said, no one cares a shit about the Matrix anymore. I'm one of the few people that liked all three films. And even I don't want to see another one because I think it's too late. Most people don't like Matrix 2 and 3. So why the fuck would they want to see a 4? Lo and behold, they didn't. It's like, why then make a new Blair Witch film? I love the original Blair Witch Project, but that's a film when it was very split. You loved it or you hated it. And the people who loved it, one movie was enough. Didn't need Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Didn't need that reboot. 2016, that was a sequel. But they almost did the same fucking movie. There's no desire of people to want new material on Blair Witch or Matrix. Number 7, Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Rey. It's all about Rey. Rey. Not Rayman. Not Ray Combs. Not Ray Thomas. Not Ray from Ghostbusters. Rey Skywalker. They had no plan. It showed. And they shit the bed with the Star Wars stuff. And then all the stuff I've heard about the new Obi-Wan Kenobi, all the stuff I've heard, sounds like dog shit as well. Big surprise. Big deal. Number 6, Alien 3. Well, yeah, that'd be number 1 on my list of shit sequels. I've talked about Alien 3 so many times, I don't know what more I can say of it. Hate Alien 3 with a passion. Number 5, The Last Jedi. Yep, dog shit. Alien 3 of this generation. That's what I would call it. What Alien 3 did to the franchise back then is what The Last Jedi did to Star Wars nowadays. Started with The Force Awakens, but Last Jedi hammered that nail in. Again, what more can I say? Luke Skywalker being a sourpuss getting titty milk from some creature who seems to like it a bit too much. Number 4, Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah, Jason takes a cruise ship. Somehow goes to Manhattan even though the ship is in a lake. Apparently people don't know what the fuck a lake is. Because Jason was in Crystal Lake. He was in the water Crystal Lake. Maybe he teleported away and into a harbor. Whatever. I mean, that's a film where every night and midnight, toxic waste goes through the sewers. And yeah, I get it. Friday the 13th films are not realistic. They're entertaining popcorn movies, and I like most of them. I do. But fuck, Jason X was more realistic than Jason Takes Manhattan. And that's not the reason I disliked it. It just... Jason Takes Manhattan... He didn't take Manhattan. If he took Manhattan and... I don't know, maybe he has some gang members and one of them is a good guy and... You do take a little bit of Maniac Cop 2, get some good stunt scenes, action sequences in there. I don't know, maybe there's a trolley. Well, there wouldn't be a trolley in Manhattan, but some type of subway in Manhattan. Like a takeoff of Predator 2, but be bloodier. Actually, it would be before Predator 2. Could have done it before Predator 2, where Jason's just killing everybody in the subway, and people try to reach it, but Jason, you know, is throwing this and doing this, and fucking crushing heads, and let the bodies hit the floor. Jason going to town in the middle of Times Square. Cops come, enters a police station, completely wipes out the police station. Then Maniac Cop 2 did that. And director, don't tell me it's the budget. Then how the hell did Maniac Cop 2 do those stuff like the police station massacre with the budget it had, which I think was smaller than yours? Sorry, you had to make room for stupid dream sequences because you wanted to compete with A Nightmare on Elm Street. Because Elm Street 4 ridiculed you because Elm Street 4 came out and beat the shit out of Friday the 13th Part 7 The New Blood. I liked Part 7 The New Blood. But you look at the box office, Elm Street 4 in 1988 did a lot better than Part 7 of Friday the 13th did in 1988. Elm Street 4 made almost $50 million. A lot more than Friday the 13th films were making. And then you get a boring lead in Jensen Daggett. You have a Jason that looks normal as a kid in a flashback, when the whole point was he was a mongoloid. And then somehow the toss away turns him into a little fucking kid. With hair. I'm like, wow, Jason never even had hair. So he turns back to a kid with hair. Holy shit. I guess we all gotta use toss aways on our bald heads. Grow hair. Number 3, Son of the Mask. Yeah. Bad film. Terrible movie. I mean... Jamie Kennedy has a YouTube channel and he's told a couple stories about the making of the film. Much better than the movie itself. So definitely check that out on Jamie Kennedy's YouTube channel. Number 2, Jaws the Revenge. Yeah. I probably wouldn't put that in the... It's a bad sequel. I probably would not put that in top 20 sequel. Because there's a lot worse. Because... God, now I'm trying to think of all the sequels I've seen in like the past couple years. Like I did Bill and Ted Face the Music. But I mean, Jaws of Revenge still killed Roy Scheider off screen, which was bullshit. So it did do that. It is a dumb plot. Shark goes from Amity to the damn Bahamas. Fine and dandy. Has a psychic link, I guess, to the family. Because in the original novel, it was said it was voodoo, because a voodoo guy put a curse on the family, and they took that out. I mean, that would not have made it better, but I guess it would have made more sense. The shark roars like a lion. Depending on which ending you see, it gets stabbed and blows up, or it just gets stabbed. Just the shark stands on his tippy toes somehow. That far out for it to be stabbed. It's a very boring film, too. It's a very boring movie, Jaws 4. Very boring. I like decent music. Musical score's not too bad. Michael Caine. I like Michael Caine. Always like to see him in a movie, but yeah, it is a bad sequel. I take that back. Probably would be in top 20. I'm trying to think of like all these new films that are so bad I wiped them out of my brain. By the way, I've seen Bulletproof 2. You know, I've seen I Got the Hookup 2. I've seen Backdraft 2. So I've seen a lot of terrible sequels that sadly I would rather watch Jaws Revenge over watching Backdraft 2 or Bulletproof 2 again. But and number one, more Kombat Annihilation. Yeah, annihilate my balls. Annihilate my ass. Kill off Johnny Cage. Thankfully, Lyndon Ashby didn't come back because he knew it sucked. So they had another actor. So they killed Johnny Cage off in such a piss poor fashion. Nothing fashion. Terrible effects. I like the soundtrack, I'll give you that. I think he did a couple of decent martial arts scenes, but then Liu Kang goes back to, even though he won the tournament, he does worse here than he did in the first movie. Fighting people. Does his ass kicked one too many times. The animality is utterly horseshit. Totally ridiculous. I know that was in the game. So was babality. You don't have people turned into babies that they did in Mortal Kombat 3 back in the day. Friendship. Friendship. You don't have a guy come and go, Toasty! Because it was in the game doesn't mean you put it in the movie. James Remar is a big step down from Christopher Lambert. I like the guy who played Jax. I do. I did like the guy who played him. I thought he was a bright spot. And anytime he was on screen and the few fights he got into, that was fun. He did a good job for what he was given. That and the soundtrack, and again, there's a couple fight scenes that are kind of fun. Again, when Jax is fighting Cyrax and Sonya's helping, like that scene I don't mind. But they just put in Nightwolf, blink and you miss him, Jade. I get Baraka, and then, or it's supposed to be Baraka, or someone that looks like Baraka, but is given nothing, jazz shit to do, and killed off. And they tried to do too much, and they fell flat on their face. And they didn't have the right director. They didn't have the right script. They had even worse special effects. Brian Thompson is awful. It would be glorious. The one who played the... You will die. Whoever the hell she was, I forgot. Terrible fucking shit, man. Terrible, 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 terrible. But it's a good list. I mean, I haven't seen Kissing Booth 2 and 3. I haven't seen Peter Rabbit 2. I can't... Jaws of Revenge does deserve the more I think about it. It's just, again, I've seen much worse, but it is a horrible sequel. So, yeah, I can't complain about those choices. I really can't. I really can't. They're all awful. Awful sequels. Yeah, they're terrible. As Charles Barkley would say, terrible. It's terrible. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks once again, QJC. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.